Oh, we're back, Smithers. Hello, everyone. It's Ethan McKinley. It's the 2-Minute Terminator,
Oh my
where
God,
we
you're
break
recording.
down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. Yes, we are recording, Ellie. Hello and welcome. It's episode 59 of Season 4. That's a lie.
Hello.
It's episode 49 of Season 4. We're going from minutes 98 to the 100 mark.
Ethan, fat, drunk and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Out with it. Yes, we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. If you only just joined us, welcome. Welcome to all our new listeners. The bumper music for today's show is Prometheus by Mark
Rubbish.
by Mark Streitenfeld. I apologise. After the savage beating over the beginning credits of the show, Ellie will be whipped into shape and ready to sprechen her mind and on today's clip.
What do you mean? Why am I being bad behaved?
Hit the music.
Ow!
And the Ellie.
Fucking hell.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the fourth. Thank God. It sucked. It sucked.
And we're back. Yes, hello everyone. My name is Ethan McKinley. My co-host Ellie Fitzgerald is sitting just across from me.
Bonjour. Comment ça va? Bien?
Ça va bien, merci.
God,
Something else in German.
never, ever speak French.
If you've not heard the show before, we watch 2 minutes of the Terminator films and we talk about it for about 20 minutes with hopefully jokes and stuff and make you laugh, but a few facts, cock-ups and things. We are the red-headed stepchild of all the minute shows because we are 2 minutes instead of one.
We like to think you get more for your buck.
We tend to be more funny than the other shows, which, as good as they are, and we do listen to all of them, big fan, we perhaps have a light-hearted approach to a franchise which one could argue isn't the most unpatchy of all of them.
I think the reason is because I'm not like a super geek.
You are a super geek. You collect NECA action figures.
Yeah, but
You know about lots of 80s like genre or kind of like geek films.
Yeah, but what I mean is I don't know, I find with all the other kind of minute podcasts, they're like so into it. I think that's why they take it a lot more seriously. Whereas for me, yeah, I enjoy it, but I kind of just muck around a lot of the time.
If anyone listening wants to write in as a new co-host, please, if you contact us.
Shut up!
Well, I'm a super geek. I'm into Terminator. And
well, no, I'd like to say I'm a geek, but like, I don't think I'm a like uber geek.
Well, the 2 minutes.
I'll get there one day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the 2 minutes we're going from, we're on episode 49, as you know. We're in season 4 of the Terminator franchise. So we're on Terminator Salvation, which is very exciting for me. And we're going from minutes 98 to the 100-minute mark.
Oh my God.
How exciting is that?
It's so exciting, I just wet myself a little bit.
Well, basically, the 2 minutes bridging the gap we're talking about, it's Christian Bale, Anton Yelchin, finally in the thing I guess fans have wanted to see for a long time, the Terminator Factory, which was teased in Terminator 2. There were sketches for it that James Cameron did. To dial back, if you only just joined us, there was an entire scene cut out of Terminator 2. Or not cut out, they didn't even get to start shooting it, but they steal a Terminator from the Terminator Factory off the rack, reprogram his chip, and then send him on his merry way. Now, they touched on that briefly in Terminator Genesis, the next film in this franchise, and the film we're going to talk about next in about a month's time when we get to it. They include some of that, the tactical time weapon, where they send Arnold back through time, and one thing they didn't include in that, though, Ellie, is the bit where they actually get a Terminator and reprogram it. But I guess because of that, fans have been teased this like...
Tease me, Roy, tease me.
Well, just this Terminator Factory we've always wanted to see. I mean, it's hinted upon and touched upon slightly in one of the best teaser trailers of all time, which was the Terminator 2 teaser, where we see Arnold Schwarzenegger being created in the bioflesh generator, which is really cool. It says, "I'll be back." But that obviously goes with the James Cameron type of like chrome and like blue light and laser aesthetic, which has got kind of what I guess this film's missing to its detriment. This is a much grittier, shittier looking film. The colour palette's quite brown and muted.
It's quite like Alien 3.
It does. It has the look of Alien 3 to it. Well, you know what? No, it has the look of The Road a little bit and Mad Max, the Viggo Mortensen film, which I think came out after this. But that's what they were kind of going for.
He's hot.
But yeah, it does. When they get to the factory,
Have you seen Eastern Promise?
Yes.
That's a dark movie, man.
Well, yes.
All those Russians. Sorry.
Yeah, this film in the factory, Ellie, I'm not sure. I don't know. It just...
I really like it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like the sequences in it. I like some of the misdirects and the kind of things
I
they
like
do.
it when you see all the T800s just kind of along. You literally see it in about 2
Sideways
seconds time.
on the
yeah,
racks.
when
Yeah,
they
yeah.
put the jaw on.
And they put in the jaw
and you
on.
see them all, and their heads are down, and you imagine.
Only question is, all these Terminators, do they get chromed afterwards then? Because all these Terminators, they're being milled. They're all like mucky and like just their basic metal.
Maybe they just put them through like a buffer, like when you go to bowling, and the ball comes out and it comes.
Homer, did you clean your head in the Shino Bolo again? No.
Lowenstein. Okay, so the beginning of this, as we said, the head of the one of the T800s gets selected.
And then
I have been chosen. I'm going to a special place.
And then it ends with like a distant shot of Anton Yelchin and Christian Bale looking at the power cells again. Now, he mentions in this the power cells are nuclear, but what?
I was literally about to start my notes, and you just totally.
Sorry, start your notes.
That's what I said. As it opens, we see the head get selected. You're such a bastard.
You look like you were like fishing for help. So I
I
was like,
was
oh.
not.
And it ends on the power
Have
cells.
you seen the extent of my notes?
Right.
Listen, people.
They're pretty extensive.
No, it's not a gale force wind outside. All the flaps of skin on
Ellie's
forehead.
chest.
It's true. They're pretty horrific, but it's fine because I'm going to get a boob job. Okay, so I'm really confused. In the previous 2 minutes, we saw Star, we saw Carl Reese, and we saw Bullshit Bale doing that amazing, like, armless jump through that hole in the wall. So I'm assuming they all collapse down onto this thing.
Yeah.
And yet it looks like they take the T800 heads off of a wall as opposed to a floor.
Well, we said that in the...
But when you look at this, it takes the head out. So you see this claw come down, takes the head out, and yet look, he's like lying down. And he literally gets up.
Mm.
And you know when you lie down, you sometimes get that fat forehead and that fat vein in your forehead. So that's a complete cock up.
Well, no.
Cock
Hang on. Let me just show you this scene, Ellie. As we're in our clip, we're at about 13 seconds in. The jaw goes onto the Terminator on the production line.
Mm.
And then we see a mid shot. When we cuts round to John again, you'll see the floor where those like skulls were, I think. Or maybe it's just before the jaw. Let me just...
No.
Right.
Okay.
There. See?
Where?
That's the thing they fell onto. It's directly behind him.
Well, where are the glowing eyes then? That's just a floor.
Well, this is the cock-up that was in yesterday's clip. When they fall onto that floor, the Terminators have red glowing eyes.
Mm.
Why, we don't know, because there's no power source. They're not attached to a body. The batteries have not been inserted into the Terminators yet.
Yeah, there's no power at all.
And yet, again, when he turns around, you quite rightfully point out that...
It's merely a bust. Wait!
Well,
See what I did there?
the bust of the Terminator getting his eyes put in, he doesn't have his eyes until he's actually kind of on the body and the jaw's on.
Without a face.
And
Just like a bit of
also...
Billy in there.
There's no power again in the Terminators. So they shouldn't have glowing eyes. So why there's glowing Terminator? I mean, I guess they've done it for an iconic image. So you got like the glowing skulls and stuff. But then obviously, when he's on the production line, they don't have the eyes in, and when the eyes are in, they're not powered up because there's no power cell in the body yet.
Again, that scene that I said that I liked, where you see all the Terminators all kind of lined up, which is at what timing is that? Oh, it's about 1 minute 39.
Yeah.
The sound, I like the sound effects. It's all those kind of heavy machinery, like kind of sounds. Did you like that?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to say the silver-looking machines where the power cell fuel cells are stored at the Skynet factory is actually a piece of equipment from a semiconductor manufacturing plant, an SVG 90-S coated developer for silicon wafers.
If you are listening for the first time as well, this is the part that we call trivia schmivia.
I like to slip it in there now. I don't like to kind of announce
Slip it in. The secret slipper. How does John Connor know, or Bullshit Bale, that these are the life sources of T800s if the T800 is a brand new Terminator?
Say that again.
Did you watch this clip?
I did. I just because I'm turning the Prometheus music down.
You know, Bullshit Bale says, "Oh, this is the life source of the T800s."
Yeah.
How does he know that if T-800s are brand new Terminators? How would he know that that's the life source?
Well, because they're referencing basically the scene he had with Arnold in Terminator 3. But imagining this is a continuous timeline, I think Nick Starr really should have been in this as John Connor for some continuity. I mean, ultimately, it should have been Edward Furlong who was in 3, but he was having lots of personal problems. We'll leave it at that. Drugs. And
Dude, I'd probably be dead if I'd been famous at like 13.
Oh, totally. I think he was a ne'er-do-well kid in real life then, though, and that's why he had that kind of like rough around the edges thing that James Cameron kind of wanted.
Which is probably why he did such a good job.
So who knows, he may have turned out the same either way. But yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have him continue as John Connor through these.
Continuancy.
But then again, even now, he still looks like Edward Furlong. He looks a bit like, who's the guy from the Libertines who had loads of problems? Pete Doherty.
Yeah.
He's got that fat, white baby skin. But he's clearly been drinking and not taking care of himself.
Why women find him attractive, I have no idea.
Because, well...
Now that is a meth scratch face.
No. The reason being because all women like a project. And it's all that I can save him.
I can
fix him, yeah. And also because he's...
Kate Moss didn't. She just got done for snorting coke.
Because Kate Moss kind of had him. That I guess at the time. Like, well, I dated a certain very beautiful woman, didn't I? And I told you... As soon as I was going out with her, out of the woodwork,
that gave you currency like you couldn't believe.
Loads of girls were after me just because of being so either to beat her, I think, or to be like, well, if she's getting out with a loser like him, he must have something going on.
But do you know what the other thing would have been? By going out with her, that would have boosted your confidence. When you've got swagger, Ethan, chicks dig that.
Yeah.
So it's not. I totally agree. If a woman sees a man and he's with a stunning hot girl, you're going to think, oh my God, he must be rocking a hog or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or, he gives head like a champ. But
I don't.
A lot of the other reasons will be is because of you going out with that girl and something you said to me before, it kind of like makes you feel like you're worth more, or it gives you a boost in confidence. So when you have a boost in confidence, Ethan, you
that
just
invisible
have this
cloak
swag,
wraps around you.
Yeah,
that
you
no
have this swag about you, and women are massively attracted to that.
Explain Pete Doherty then.
Well, he's got swagger. He doesn't give a fuck.
Bloody sings all this.
I'm gonna come.
He's in a band.
Well, he
a
was
rock
in a
band.
He's even worse now, though. I was going to say,
I'm
by the way,
surprised
John
he's alive.
Connor in this clip, Ellie, we mentioned this a couple of scenes back because I had the notes for the wrong thing. Well, I didn't. I just peppered it into the wrong thing, but I can actually say it now.
What, poor man's pepper?
No, but in this scene, John Connor says the power cells used to blow up the Skynet base are T-800, which is incorrect. It's false.
Oh.
The power cells, as I said, in Terminator 1 and 2, are never mentioned really, so we can only assume. However, had they been the power cells from the T-850, because you have to remember in 3, Arnold plays the T-850, which is a slightly upgraded, modified version of the T-800. They've got a power cell, which is nuclear inside. He mentions even in Terminator 3 that it's a different power cell. He can last even longer on it, and etc. But if it gets damaged, or one of them gets damaged, he has to get rid of it, and that's when it's like a mini nuke. He throws it out the window.
Yeah.
John Connor in this said it's a T-800. Now, if he says they're nuclear, the nuclear ones are for the T-850, I'm just going to say.
Nice.
So it's a totally different power cell in the Terminator from Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. The reason we know that is when it was lowered into the molten metal in Terminator 2, there would have been a massive nuclear explosion.
Yeah, true.
I guess. And
No,
when
it
it was
would have been.
crushed in Terminator 1,
That again.
there would have been probably a massive nuclear explosion.
Ethan, did you get that from the internet, or did you think of that?
I get that. No, it's from the internet.
Oh.
But I only bring it up because it's a trivia schmivia.
It's actually apt for this scene.
But
Ethan, what's going on?
Because I rearranged some of the trivia bits of the last few episodes. I don't know, it just kind of went to part in the last 10 episodes. I just got them all mixed up. I basically pre-do all the trivia months in ahead.
And now for something completely different.
One thing I do
when
like about
Anthony Yelchin walks through and
Anthony
goes,
Yelchin.
yeah.
I like this scene.
When he walks through and he goes, oh my God, there's so many of them. Just made me think of today. Ethan took me into Birmingham and the amount of chebs we saw. I literally going, they're everywhere. There's so many of them.
It's booze.
Dude, seriously. So yeah, when Anthony was walking through going, there's so many of them, I was like, yeah, I know what you mean. if you're into boobs, go to Birmingham.
The scene's quite good in a sense that it's quite suspenseful. There's that bit within the factory where they're here, look, and there's the rack of Terminators, and literally one gets moved out of the way by like the robotic arm as it's on its production line, and there's another Terminator standing there, and he just walks out from behind him. I think that's really good.
I literally wrote that down.
My only issue with it, movie physics, of course, that he hits John Connor, it would have just cracked, broken every bone in his body, I assume. Again, we come back to the thing with the Terminator from Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 would just kill instantly.
Yeah.
You punch your heart out, just reach out, just kill you, basically. That's his job, to, like, with as less fuss possible, just destroy.
He should have just come from behind and just blasted them. But also, you see John Connor
he would have ripped
punch.
Carl Reese's head off, beat John Connor to death with it.
You see John Connor punch the Terminator in the face. That would have literally broken every hand in his body.
Ooh.
Every bone.
My body's full of hands. Oh, Lord, get me to an exorcist.
Mr. Hands. It would have broken every bone in his hand. It's just ridiculous. And like when he first comes out and he like throws them to the floor, there'd be broken bones all over the shop.
Oh, no, for real?
Or maybe John Connor's got metal bones.
No,
maybe
but
he's
it is
a Terminator.
silly. I don't know. I think if they were going to like go crazy with this franchise, because they've already played with the idea, even though they didn't do it in this. As I said before, Marcus Wright was going to take over when John Connor was killed and assume his identity. These metal boxes here, these silver boxes, when we come to the exactly 39-minute mark in this 2-minute clip, there are 4 silver kind of chrome-looking boxes around the power cells who are in being produced, and Star's looking at them.
And poor little Star once again just gets shouted at.
Those are the machines I said. They're semiconductor manufacturers for the SVG90, which is a coated developer for silicon wafers. Just thought I'd say that.
Why are there no other Terminators? Like walking around?
Milling around.
Where are they?
Because it's not in service of the story. But there should be.
Definitely. I mean, what if something happened?
I think you either have
What
lots...
if there was a mishap on the production line?
Well, it's all being done by robots, isn't it?
I know, but something could happen. A cog could get caught.
Because it, well, you could argue
you
because...
would have thought there'd be at least one patrolling that, like, production assembly.
You could argue because the T800 is brand new, there wouldn't be any walking around, but there would be T600s walking
that's what I
around,
mean,
monitoring some of this
Terminators.
stuff, doing security. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So the one that comes from out of the background, that's a T800, yeah.
Yeah. Although.
So has that one just been assembled?
No. Let's rewind because we know. I'm pretty sure the T800 that came out.
Oh yeah.
That they shot the flesh off, and this one that does attack them has got a bit of raggedy skin on him. So it is still the
Where's
Arnold.
the raggedy skin?
It's the CGI Arnold.
I saw no skin.
Well, let's have a look. I'm pretty sure.
Decoys, Lois. Decoys. I like how they did that.
Because they're waiting for him to come from here. They're thinking he's going to come out of the
I think that
elevator.
was a distraction. I think that was a bit of a schneid little trick that the Terminators played there, which I quite enjoy. Yeah, where's the skin?
Well, they blew it off, but he's still he's got little. He's a
And
dirty
well
Terminator.
done, Anthony. I applaud you. Finally, someone
Anton.
shot the bastard. Is it Anton Yelchin?
Anton Yelchin. God rest his soul.
I thought it was Anthony. Yeah, I'm gutted. I think he's a good actor.
He was.
What? Ethan! I'm trying to be nice.
Well, they think he didn't put the parking brake on. He didn't put the handbrake on his car.
I
So when
don't
he was
even know how he
like
died.
opening his gate, the car just rolled back and pinned him between the gate and the car. Again, though, how that killed him with such force, it's quite
bit
strange.
weird.
Because a car could roll back onto you, but could it kill you unless you were just pinned and just suffocated to death? It'd be a pretty horrible way to
Someone
go.
must have walked past. Or
Well, they must have. They found him dead.
Yeah, but what I mean is, you'd be screaming for help.
Speaking of dead, and not to speak ill of the dead, this was in fact the last film that Stan Winston worked on.
Oh, Stan.
Almost bringing it full circle, even though he had a career throughout the 70s in things like Gargoyles and stuff. Stan Winston, who was an actor originally, by the way, his career really took off with Terminator, because he created the Terminator. Off James Cameron's obviously brilliant technical drawings. But this was the last film that he did, that he supervised
just at the
creature
end of
effects
this
on.
scene, Star looks down at this little box on the floor. What is that? Is that like a detonator?
Which one? Is it just here?
No, I said at the end of the 2 minutes.
Hang on. Let me just skip to the bit you might...
Oh, you just missed it. And you missed it again.
Missed it again.
That.
A detonator.
Oh, it is a detonator. Because then, yeah, Star looks at it, and I'm guessing she grabs it.
I'm assuming that's what they've wired.
It looks like the detonator in Terminator 2.
It's wired to the power
you know, when
cells.
Dyson's going...
Yeah, it's a smaller version of that. With the trip switch cover on it so you don't press it by accident. Yeah. By the way, during the final encounter with the T-800 in this scene, the concrete picks up a concrete block and repeatedly bashes it to Marcus' chest. This is from the next clip,
I was
actually.
going to say stop, because we're about to do the next clip. You goof.
Scratch that.
Scratch that. Right.
Right.
They are all my notes.
Wow. You make notes for an hour and you talk for 3 minutes.
Well, tonight, I think it's because you've had a can of Coke. You've literally just spoken over me like the whole time. It's fine. All my notes, you basically just said before I actually got to say them, so now I can't say them.
You put well done, Anton Yelchin. I'm going to photograph that and put it on the page.
No, well done, Yelchin.
That's it. That's the name of the episode. When John is lying on the factory floor, this is a cock-up, Ellie.
Cock up. Bing!
By the way, before we get into the cock-ups, John Nichols, you bastard.
Yes!
If anyone's listening, if he goes to the...
Bastard?
I'm just kidding,
You
but...
look great. And he picked a different image.
We asked...
Your last main was, he always uses the same picture of me.
I know.
He actually hasn't this
he's
time.
branching out.
And you didn't even tell him that you said that.
I wanted to film you because you saw the picture and you broke out laughing. And I was trying to film you, but then you the moment had passed, you're like, what are you filming me?
And that was just when I saw my one. I hadn't even seen Ethan's yet.
Yeah, thank you, John. If anyone's listening, if you go to the 2 Minute Terminator page, in fact, Johnny, you can start posting these on Twitter if you like, because I think more people will see them versus the Terminator page. I think we've got more people on our Twitter than that. But yeah, really great work.
Absolutely loved
They
it.
put our heads on Hoggle from Labyrinth at Ellie's request on the last episode. So listeners, if you do want to see that, if you go to the 2 Minute Terminator page,
It's so good.
if you click on episode 48, you'll see it in the show notes.
To do.
What do you expect fairies to do?
There you go. Put your gut away.
As I was saying, but as John's lying on the factory floor, as the Terminator is bearing down on him, Terminator appears right beside him when he shoots part of the release for the hot fluid, which is the molten metal that covers the Terminator. The Terminator suddenly is further away from John. By the way, my cock-up is that's from the next scene.
Ethan's cock up. Bing bing.
No, this is quite a good scene though. I
enjoy it. I think that's probably why I've got the least amount of notes on
there
it.
should have been more of this, I think.
And also, I really do enjoy the next... do you know why we like this? It's because it's full of Terminators.
No, I like it because I think it's very evocative of the Terminator 2 teaser trailer when the Terminator is being made. My only issue with it is it doesn't have that clean room, like clinical, amazing laser beams and smoke and like blue light. That the James Cameron look, basically.
Yeah.
It
But
just
no one can do what James Cameron can do.
But if I was making this film, I think the problem is with the Terminator films, and also, as we've said before, with the Highlander films, every time a new film is made... Well, all right, first of all, let's say this. Like Highlander and like Terminator, the first film didn't require a sequel.
Right.
It's a self-contained story, and that's it. At the end of Highlander, spoilers everyone, he wins the prize, which is basically his mortality, so he can lead a normal life, have children, grow old and die. Is that a prize? I don't know.
No, not in my eyes. That ain't no prize in my eyes.
Your prize is to know all the things of all men, their dreams, their hopes.
You're best. Do it.
You've won your mortality, MacLeod. Live it well.
And the same way Highlander is that self-contained story, you can't have a sequel from it because it ends. He wins his mortality. There's nothing else you can do. Boy, they fucked that up with Highlander 2, let me tell you, and 3 and 4 and Highlander.
Isn't there 6?
I think there's 6 because
Oh
someone
my
I know
God.
is in Highlander 5.
Who do you know in Highlander 5?
Stephen White.
And who's he when he's at home?
Basically an actor. I used to work in a restaurant called The Living Room with a guy called Kevin Wathen, who's like a very... not a famous theatre actor, but he's quite well known in London. But he's mate from drama school. Stephen White is in Highlander 5, the one before Endgame. I can't remember what it's called though, but it's like the worst of all of them. It's straight to video. There was no money spent on it. It makes Arthur and Merlin look like Citizen Kane.
I didn't even enjoy Highlander 1.
Highlander
actually,
1 has
no.
got some really great
No,
members.
it's not. I didn't enjoy it. I was just watching this film. I was like, what on earth is this?
I think because at the time it was quite a radically shot film. It had loads of really cool camera
Sean
work in
Connery
it.
was great in it.
Sean Connery's in it. Sean Connery's great.
I love that he's Egyptian and yet speaks with a
It's
Scottish
well
accent.
shot. The only problem Highlander really has, it suffers from 80s-itis. It's very much of its time. It looks very dated.
Yeah, but I like that.
And but it looks dated in a bad 80s way as
Yeah.
opposed to a good 80s way. It looks
All the
crap and
colouring
cheap.
looks really faded
Yeah.
and it doesn't really pop.
But I think if they made if they were going to make a proper Wolverine movie, they should get Highlander and First Blood and mix the two of them. So he walks into a town, he gets bothered by the cops, and he wages a one-man war against like
and
people
not use Hugh Jackman.
people
My
who don't
God.
like mutants. I don't know. I think Hugh
Don't
Jackman's
skip leg
fine,
though, Hugh.
and his commitment to the role's good. That he works out and does all this stuff.
He's the biggest gimp. He's so wet.
But that's the problem. I think that's the director's fault, and he plays it like that. He's crying. He's always moaning about something. Wolverine is that kind of short fuse. I can't remember. Well, do you know what? Rambo. If you watch First Blood, Rambo Part 1 and 2, that's how Wolverine should be. Short fuse. He's cool, but if you start fucking with him, he will go spare and kill all of you. And that's what Rambo's like. So basically, First Blood is the best Wolverine movie ever made. It really is. So I think if you mix that with Highlander, and a bit like Superman, the reason there's not really many good Superman films is you can't hurt Superman. He's Jesus. Nothing can harm him.
What about Batman?
Yeah, the only way you can hurt... No, because he's a man. But the only way you can hurt Superman and the only way you can hurt McLeod is hurt the people he loves. And that's the only weakness that he has as a character. So if you mixed Highlander with First Blood, you'd have the perfect Wolverine movie. Now, moving on from Highlander, they're all self-contained stories. But like Highlander, they decide to make more sequels. Cameron gets away with it because he made a better film and added on to, and then really closed this film with Terminator 2. You can't have a sequel after that. And they've tried. They've done it with Highlander. But you have different people coming on.
And then it goes bad, and they're like, we'll try with one more film. And
you
then
have
it gets
different
worse.
writers, different producers, and this suffers from that. And if I was making this, I would have made and kept that Cameron design ethic. And I think then the fans would have been kinder to it. Cameron would have been kinder to it. Because I think the reason he talked up Genesis, even though Genesis isn't that good...
Because he was paid to?
No, I just think it massaged his ego enough that they paid homage to the first Terminator. One, by doing that shot-for-shot remake of the film. And then the future war thing at the start looked very 80s, and they kind of got the look of it kind of right. They dressed them in that grey kind of military outfit that they had in Terminator 1 and 2, kind of. The time displacement equipment for the tactical time weapon was pretty much the exact copy of Cameron's storyboard art that he did for the machine itself, with the spinny thing, which, by the way, they stole those spinning rings from, Contact.
Yeah.
Because you've seen Contact, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen Contact.
Yeah, they took that design,
Jodie
ripped it off, and they stuck it in Contact, because that's what the time weapon
spinny
would have looked like.
thing,
Yeah. So they kind of changed that aspect of it a little bit for Genesis, but it's pretty much follows the Cameron design ethic. And I think they should have done that with this. This factory, even though I guess it's pre that time, it would have been nice to see that weird chrome pyramid and like all that beautiful like chrome architecture and stuff with all the production line, the laser beams. And
do you not think this scene looks massively like the end scene of Terminator 1 and 2? They're always in these kind of steel mill...
That's what I'm saying. It pays homage to that, and I think when you see those skulls and the jaws being put on, and you see all the sparks flying down, it's very reminiscent of that trailer, and that's what's cool. I don't know. It just would have been, I think, better on their part, and I think fans would have been kinder to it if they'd.
Let's say the skulls were in the floor. Why would they put them in the floor? That makes no sense to me.
You could argue that if you worked in a factory, you'd have pallets that would be loaded in by forklifts with different parts on. And then those Terminator skulls, you could argue again, if you get like a model kit, you have a frame with which all your parts are set and you kind of clip them out and cut the flash off it and stuff. So I guess maybe you could say that. But again, am I being an apologist for this?
Massively. I don't know what happened to you, man. What happened to bashing this movie? What happened to bashing Bale?
It seems more logical that they'd be on a wall, or it would certainly look cooler. So you'd have like this wall of Terminator skulls, which
almost like
weird.
Trophies,
Yeah. So who knows? I don't know.
All the busts on the wall.
Shut up.
Don't breathe on me, you scab.
But yeah, thank you for listening, everyone. I didn't mention at the top of the show. Whoops. We do have a YouTube channel. We had an unprecedented spike in viewings on one of the episodes that said sex with Darth Vader. I can only assume it's not because the Terminator people clicked onto that because they thought it was some kind of weird porn sex with Darth Vader. I apologise if I let you down. But if you do want to watch our show and listen to the things we're talking about as we talk about them, we actually include the clip of the bit in question we're discussing. So you can check us out at 2 Minute Terminator on YouTube. It's amazing. Check it out. And you can find us on YouTube, Facebook.
You've just said YouTube.
Twitter.
You mean Twitter.
SoundCloud. Just type in 2 Minute Terminator.
All the big media moguls.
So thank you all for the new listeners coming on. The Master Debater show was meant to happen tonight, but apparently Sean is at a wedding and he's pissed and he can't get back. So we'll have to reschedule. So we might do that. I might do that show sans Ellie, but we can always come back. They have lots of repeat people. The guy from the Mr. BS podcast goes on quite a lot, and they've had a couple of other people. Bullshit. So yeah.
Ethan, I hate your music.
Well, I fucked the housemaid last week.
Anyway.
Thank you all for listening. We shall return with episode 50, the big 50. That means with 9 episodes left.
God.
And then we can take a little hiatus. Maybe we can hopefully get on the Back to the Future minute and guest on there. Maybe do the Alien minute. I think that would be your preferred minute to do, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, I'll ask them, see if we can go on. But yeah, we're going to start guesting for a couple of weeks on other people's podcasts to increase our brand and have some fun on someone else's show without having to worry about editing, putting it on YouTube.
Ethan, that'll be such a weird experience for you to record a podcast and just walk out going meandies.
Meandies, no more sweaty balls, ba-doo-doo.
Meandies.
Zip,
Recruiter. Right, hasta la vista.
Oh, John Nichols, seeing as you're double timing us and with lots of other people's podcasts, check out the Monday morning podcast with
Bill Burr. It's the greatest thing you'll ever do.
Basically,
he is amazing.
He just talks about his day. And it's just him on his own.
It has turned me into the most hated person on public transport in the morning. I get the train at 7:15 and everyone's so quiet and miserable and just downtrodden and just ugh. And there's me doing my outside laugh, like booming around the worst from listening to the nonsense that comes out of Bill Burr's mouth. It's amazing.
And Best Forgotten Movies. That's a good one. Listen to that one today.
Yeah.
Star Trek 5 they did. Pretty good show. But yeah, thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for your support. If you want to follow us, as I said, on all the channels we mentioned.
Stop repeating yourself.
Why?
Because you're getting old.
So is this episode. We'll return tomorrow, episode 50. Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Shut up.
What don't you fucking understand? I wanna fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking understand? I wanna fucking kick your fucking ass. What don't you fucking